Good afternoon, everyone. It's such an honor and pleasure for me to be here today. And the next speaker is Cassandra Willis. She currently serves as a director for Student and Family Support Services for the Corona Norco Unified School District. In this role, she supports families by providing them with the tools necessary to become academic advocates for their children, as well as supporting them with their social and emotional needs. She also oversees the Corona Norco Unified School District Parent Center, where families can receive parenting support, tutoring services, community resources, counseling services, and much more. Mrs. Willis provides professional development for school staff that focuses on building true partnership between home, school, and community. Previously, she was a principal of Home Garden Academy, where she developed an award-winning parental involvement program that changed the dynamics of the school community and assisted in raising student achievement. She has presented numerous workshops on parental engagement within Riverside County and in other states. Mrs. Willis also serves as a professor at La Sierra University, where she teaches graduate students who are pursuing their degree in educational administration. In her over 25 years in education, she has received numerous awards, including Elementary Principal of the Year, the Valuing Diversity Award from the Association of California School Administrator, and District Administrator of the Year. On a personal level, Cassandra is a woman of faith who has served and led in children and youth ministries for 20 years. She is married to her husband of 25 years, and they have two children, Gary and Taylor, and two fur babies. Two of her favorite quotes are, "Do the right thing even when no one is looking," and "If you can be anything, be kind." Thank you so much, Cassandra. On behalf of CAVE, it's really an honor to have you here today, and I cannot wait to hear your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danny, for that wonderful intro. To all those out there today, my name is Cassandra Willis, and I'm so excited to be here. The title of my presentation is Just Breathe, Staying Mentally Healthy. I know that many of our families are out there going through a lot of things, and they're getting so much information on academics. But I also want to make sure that we are focused on not just the academic portion, but also how we can keep ourselves and our families mentally strong as we go through COVID-19, as well as help our kids learn, but just making sure we are staying together. So once again, I just want to thank our CABE organization so much for inviting me today. This is quite an honor. CABE is obviously very much focused on bilingual education. And I must say that I too am an advocate for bilingual education. Not only as a principal was I an advocate, but also in my personal life. My daughter, I put her in the dual language program 9 years ago. She is graduating this year as an 8th grade student, and I am so proud of her. And I know that having her in a bilingual education program is going to open up a whole new world for her. So thank you to CABE, to all of their board, and to everyone for this opportunity. And thank you so much for supporting bilingual education. So as we continue, I want to share a little bit about myself. I know Danny shared a little bit, but I always show this picture. That is my, when I was 5 years old in kindergarten. That was my kindergarten picture back then. And I think back then I knew at that time I wanted to be a teacher because my mom was a teacher. So I always show that picture because that's the beginning of where my passion for wanting to be a teacher actually began. But I don't want to take you through my whole career, but when I became an assistant principal, I show that picture. The same year I had my first child was the same year I got my first administrative position. And so that was exciting. Now, I like to laugh, so I'll tell you that that is not a picture of me. That's kind of what I wanted to look like when I was pregnant, but that's not me. But that's when I started my administrative career. I became an assistant principal and was an assistant principal here in Corona Norco for about 5 years until I got the awesome opportunity to lead at Home Gardens Academy, which is a school that my daughter still attends, but is definitely close to my heart. And it was there where my passion ignited for how can we engage with our families to make sure that they are advocates for their kids and education. So that's where it all began. And I was there for 10 years. Like she said, I'm married to my husband of 25 years. We have 2 kids, Taylor, who is an 8th grader in the dual language program. She's a little sad these days because she's missing her friends and she's also missing her promotion. But I told her we'll make it up her senior year. And then my son, who is a freshman at La Sierra University. A couple of things that I enjoy doing is, I don't know if you could see them, but I enjoy baking. And so I'm really into designing and making cakes. So I just thought I'd share a little bit about myself, which led up to where I am today as the Director of Student and Family Support Services for the Corona Norco Unified School District, which is just definitely a dream job for me. So let's start out with a little laughter. I'm going to show you guys a video because this presentation is on mental health. And I feel like mental health, the best thing that we can do is laugh. So let's share a little video. I hope that you will be able to see it. So let me change screens here. Pull it down here. All right, there we go. Maybe you've seen this video before, but it's kind of fun. So let's take a peek at it. One moment.
Does that sound like good parenting to you? Well, you should go to...
Well, we might want to pull it back here. Here we go. Here we go. I know this is the way some of us feel sometimes.
Turn off the TV now. It's time to go to school. Come on, Mommy's got to go to work. Come on, let's go. Teal. Sweetheart. I said it already once now. Please turn off the TV. Mommy is very busy today and I can't do this right now, okay? Okay, sweetheart, I need you to listen with your ears and see me with your eyes. Okay, Mommy is busy today. You have to go to school and I need you to get up and turn off that TV and I know you can do it, okay? Yeah, you can. For real. Teal, I'm serious. Now I'm really getting upset. You need to turn off that TV. You know what? If you do not turn off that TV, I am going to ground you for 3 months. You know what? I'm going to take all your toys and I'm going to give them to the poor. You're never going to school again. Why don't you listen to me? Why doesn't anybody ever listen to me?
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. I know that many of us have felt that way during this wonderful time of COVID, where we are stressed out. We don't feel like our kids are listening to us, but it's definitely important to laugh during these times a little bit so that we can stay mentally healthy and mentally strong. So I hope you guys like that little video. We'll do some different things a little bit later. So let's talk about this. I want you to take a look at this photo. And I want you to think about ever since your children, or maybe you don't even have children in school, but ever since things started to close down and we were not able to go out and see our families, what has been your facial expression the most? Just take a look at that picture. Sometimes a little tears, sometimes laughter, sometimes crying, sometimes confusion. Now, I'm sure as you look at that picture, you probably have said, I have been all of these things at one point in time. And if I can tell you the honest truth, I know I try to lead parents all the time, but me as a parent, I have felt all of these emotions. I have cried a little. I've been frustrated a little bit. I've laughed. I try to laugh a lot. And sometimes I felt a little sad. So these are all the emotions that we go through, especially in the middle of a pandemic. And I hope that my presentation today will allow you as parents to just relax a little bit, breathe a little bit, and let you know that you're going to be okay and that together we're going to get through this. So as we think about our lives right now, I know many of you, the fact that you even stopped to watch this is probably a miracle because we are juggling our lives in this time. Some of us have numerous kids, which you can see up at the top. Some of us during this time, we're trying to juggle working and staying at home, which has definitely been a little bit of a challenge for me. We're cooking, we're cleaning. And that big thing at the bottom is we're also becoming teachers. That has been a struggle for many of us. And that's life during COVID has kind of hit some of us hard. but we also have worries. And I want you to look at this because maybe some of these are your worries and some of them are not. But as I have the opportunity to answer the phones, my office is the Parent Engagement Center. And so we've had the opportunity to open back up about 4 weeks ago, not open our doors, but at least open up our phones. And we've talked to so many parents. Some are worried about that they may lose their job. They're worried that they have to work at home and I can't do this with all these kids running around. They're worried that maybe they might catch this virus, or they may lose their job, or they're running low on food, or even sometimes we have many families who have kids that are with special needs. And we're all trying to figure this out together. And the stress of COVID-19 and what it is bringing to our families are so many. As you're listening to this today, you may say, yes, I'm all of those things and even more. And we as a school district want you to know that we understand. I know that listening, we may have people on here from Corona Norco, where I currently work, but also across the state of California. And you're probably saying, do they understand? Do the educators understand what we're going through at home? Absolutely, we do. And we want you to know that you are our priority. We want you to be okay. And we understand that there's lots of worries. So I hope after this presentation, you'll find some ways to cope with some of these things so that we can all stay mentally healthy and mentally strong. It is so important during this time to stay balanced. I have seen the extreme of both. I've seen parents call and say, my kid needs to be doing all these different things. And I've had some all the way come and say, I don't even know how to get on the Google Classroom or on Zoom. I don't know what to do. And parents, as an educator for over 25 years, I work for a wonderful district. And our message is, yes, we want our kids to learn. Our teachers are doing phenomenal things, trying so hard to connect with families and give the best education possible. But at the same time, we want your family to be okay. We understand that you may not get everything done the way it's supposed to be done. We understand that things might be late. We understand that some of you don't have the access, and we're dealing with this digital divide and we're trying our best. But we want you to know the most important thing is that you stay balanced, that your family during this time, especially during a time of pandemic, stays close and united, because they may have all the book smarts, but if your family is disconnected, that's going to cause a wealth of many more problems. So I want you to know from a school perspective that we understand what you're going through and we get it. And we want you to just do the best you can. Stop beating yourself up over it. Give yourselves a little grace, because we want you guys to give us grace too. A couple of things when we talk about academics before I share some of the strategies I'd like for you to use are, never forget, learning is everywhere. It's not just in a textbook. We encourage our families to play games together, do puzzles, cook, read recipes, walk out in nature, talk about the things you see, write about the things you see. Parents, there's so many opportunities for learning. So don't worry if everything's not getting done and you're stressed out and you're barely making it because of that. Relax, breathe, and know that we're going to get through this together. All right. So I want you to know that you as parents are so very important to your children and to their mental health right now. But I know many of you know that, but a lot of times as moms, especially me, and dads that are out there, we put ourselves second. We do for everyone else. We do for our kids. We do for our neighbors. We do for our families, but we forget to take care of ourselves. And there's something, if you've ever flown on an airplane, and I always thought this was interesting, but when you fly on an airplane, they tell you all of the things that you're doing, and make sure you put your seatbelt on and make sure that your chair is upright and your tray is up. But one of the things they emphasize is place the oxygen mask on yourself first before helping your child. And I used to think that's kind of interesting. Why would they do that? Well, the reason we all know is because we as adults have to be okay so that we can take care of our children. So I hope by the time we finish this presentation that you will be ready to self-care so that you can prepare to take care of or be ready, excuse me, and okay to take care of yourself. I love this little saying, I guess you could call it, or yes, a saying. It says, you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. Parents, anybody who calls me here at the Parent Center or used to come in, I always tell them and I encourage them strongly, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, we must take care of ourselves first. If we don't, we become very empty. And we're not allowed to take, or not able, excuse me, to take care of our children. So remember that when you leave here today, I'm going to begin to take care of myself so that I can make sure that my family's okay. So how do we do that? How do we take care of ourselves? I want you to think for a moment. What are you doing to make sure that you are taking care of yourself before you are taking care of everyone else? Let's just think about that for a moment. I know for some of you, it's going to be, I'm not doing anything to take care of myself. I'm juggling all these things. And for many of you, maybe you're outside doing things or taking a walk. If you're not, I want to share with you some ways that you can try to make sure that you're okay. And I wanted you just to relax for a moment. And I want to give yourself permission to take care of you. It's not a selfish act. Sometimes we think when we put ourselves first that that's selfish. It's not selfish at all. It's making sure that we are okay. So I want to share with you a couple of ideas on how to build your support group. How to take care of yourself. Number one is build your support group. Even in the middle of COVID-19, and we can't get out to people the way we want, we need to stay in contact with people. Begin to engage with friends. I know for me, I had some friends that I've known for 25 years, 30 years. And we just reconnected during all this time through Zoom. And it has been wonderful and healing to my soul, as well as with my family. I have family all across the country that we didn't talk to until now of COVID. So as you are taking care of yourself, build that support. But also you must take that time for yourself and be in silence sometimes. Now, I joke about this sometimes because those of you that have little ones and they're always around, you're like, how do I find silence? Sometimes you have to find silence, maybe in the restroom, where you go and you just have peace because you need that. I also encourage our parents, get outside, spend time in nature. If you're working, it's so hard because we're at our computers, but nature brings life and you can get energy from the sun. So do those things, as well as listen to music, read a book. Another thing I think is great for self-care is take a class. We are fortunate in Corona Norco to have an amazing adult education program that I partner with. And they teach all kinds of things from flower arranging to child development classes. Learn to engage in your community. And yes, we may not be able to get to them right now, but there's lots of online courses and art classes and music classes that we can participate in so we can just be taken away with positive things. And also I want to encourage our families, limit your social media. Now I know you're on social media right now, but sometimes social media can lift us up, but it can also tear us down with the things that we see. So many different things on there about COVID and people dying. We have to limit that and make sure that we are trying to eat healthy and drink plenty of water. So once again, parents, give yourself to relax. Realize maybe that worksheet's not going to get done today because I'm going to take care of myself and the other things will follow. This is another graphic that I saw. I won't read everything on here, but it took taking care of me in 5 different categories. Taking care of your mental self by stimulating your brain through reading and games, connecting socially, connecting spiritually, finding a place of peace and hope, our lives are in chaos, many of ours right now. We're barely making it day by day. Try to find that one thing, whether it's your faith, a friend, outside, meditation, something that would help you find peace and also stay active. One of the things that I've started to do is walking. I try to walk every morning and it has helped me so much. I don't walk a long time, just a mile or a half or two, but it helps me get my day started and making sure that we're doing things that support our emotional abilities. I want to take you into something that is really cool that our district put together, and hopefully you will be able to see some of the things. Finding that peace and finding that calming in the midst of this crazy storm is so important. So let's take a look at this, and I will put it in our chat, or maybe I'll have our host put it in a little bit later. But this is our virtual calming room, and I'll click the link here. And on this virtual calming room, as you can see, there's lots of different things that you can pick. Relaxation videos, yoga classes, soft music, mindfulness. If you're into animals, all of those things are very important. If you want to take a tour on a museum, you can do that here. So I want you guys to take some time and take a look at that. We'll put this link in our presentation so that you guys can see it and be able to go on there. So there's some great resources to keep us calm. All right, so let me go back to our PowerPoint here. Okay, so I want us just to do something real quick. We talked about just breathing and relaxing, and I've given you some strategies. So let's practice it. Let's put it into action. So wherever you are, now if you're driving, don't stop. But if you're in a place where you can just relax for a moment, where you can just sit for a moment, and I want you to follow me. Close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. And just relax all of those muscles in your face. And I want you to take some deep breaths. You can go in from your nose and let it out. In through your nose and let it out. Let's do that one more time. In through your nose and let it out. Just that only took us about 20 to 30 seconds. And I know you're feeling good already because I sure am. Parents, stop, breathe, allow yourselves to be taken care of so that we can make sure our kids are taken care of, because we know if we don't take care of ourselves, our kids will not be able to thrive, because we are important role models in their lives. So I hope you got something from that. Now let's talk about ways that we can support our students. I want to share with you some tips as you go through this, because those emotions that you're going through, same thing that many of our kids are. So I want to remind you to remain calm during this time with your children. Children react to our own verbal cues. If we are chaos and we're going around screaming and we're crying and we're scared all the time, that is the way our kids will respond. Now, I'm not telling you not to show emotion, but let's try to remain calm and reassure our children that they are okay. And if they're not, be honest with them. Don't share them. Yes, the whole family's okay and we know someone's sick. Share the truth with our kids. Another thing is make yourself available when you can, even if it's for 2 minutes. If you're driving in the car, if you can find that time to make yourself available to your kids, that's awesome. And then another one that's very important as we go through and we try to help our kids navigate this, avoid excessive blaming. There's lots of blaming going on. This is why we have COVID. This is why this is happening. You're sick because of this. We don't want that for our kids. And also protect them from people who may talk like that. Be very careful. We want our kids' hearts to be okay. Couple of other things with your children. This is an outstanding opportunity for you to monitor their television viewing and their social media. Our kids are on their computers and their TVs constantly. Please, please, please make sure that we are monitoring. There are still predators and people out there luring for our children during this time. So make sure that we're monitoring what they're doing. And one big tip, if you haven't done this, and I will tell you, I missed this at the very beginning. I kind of let my daughter slip a little bit and took her off of her routines. And I was like, I thought maybe this will be go for a couple weeks. We'll be okay. We'll be back after spring break. Boy, did I not ever think we would still be in the situation. And getting her off of her routine, I think mentally kind of took her off. So please make sure that we're keeping our kids in a routine, whatever that is, a little work, a little play, a little time together. Keep a routine going because they will eventually get back to school and we want them to be prepared, and make sure that we are giving them accurate information. Another part that I want is really important, and I want to go back to what I said at the very beginning. Your mental health and your stability as a parent and your children is our top priority as a school district. Now, of course, I'm speaking for Corona Norco, and I'm sure our board would agree with me in the sense that we want you guys to be okay. And I'm sure other districts feel the same way. So please make sure that you take the time to recognize the emotions in your kids. If you look at the pictures that are there, and I think one of them, all of them are there, you have a child who's crying. You have kids who are lonely because they're missing their friends. You have sometimes they're happy and the next day they're sad. Parents, I strongly encourage you to own those feelings. Let your kids talk about them, give names to those feelings, identify with them, and then let them have the opportunity to express them. This is not a time for us, well, you know the situations that it may be, but this is not a time for us to say, no, don't cry, don't do this, don't do that. Kids are expressing themselves in so many different ways. And we want to be there for them. And we want them to be able to cry if they feel like it, or smile when they want to, or just be a little down and out and be alone sometimes. But listen to your child's feelings. Stay present with where they are, because we know that kids are not handling this well. Some are doing great and some are struggling. I have two. I have one that's doing pretty good and one that is missing her friends like crazy, missing her 8th grade promotion. These things are important to our kids. And sometimes we don't take them as important, and they get a little sad about that. So parents, please stay connected with your kids, know their emotions, know their feelings, and address them and let them know it's okay to have that feeling. I understand, and I am here for you. One of the things as we get close to wrapping up is remember to, I saw this on one of our COVID-19 websites, and I'll try to see if I can put it in the chat, is remember to try, if you have multiple kids, when you can, give each kid that one-on-one time. I'm talking 2 minutes, not an hour. If you can, that'd be great. But provide that one-on-one time, and never, ever during this process. I know for me as a working mom, it's been a struggle to work and then still have these conversations and cook dinner and all these things. But I strongly encourage you every day, sit down, have conversations with your kid, get some conversation starters. And I'll put some of those in the chat, download some of the conversations we have. Just ask, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? If they're going to high school, what classes do you want to take? What are you excited about? What are you scared about? Ask some questions such as, when we get out of this quarantine, what do you want to do first? Keep those lines of conversations going. They are crucial during this time. It is so easy, especially for our teenagers, to go into their rooms if they have one and just shut down and not talk. Yes, parents, we may have to force it. We may have to make them come out of those rooms, but that's what we need to do, because we want them, those tips that we're doing to help ourselves stay healthy, we want them to stay healthy as well. And as we wrap up, I want you to keep this in mind. In our school district, and I'm sure in many other school districts, we talk about growth mindset, thinking that we can do this. As we've entered into COVID-19 and staying at home, parents, some of us are really down. Some of us don't see the light at the end. We don't see how we're going to get through this. But I'm asking you to do this. I want you to go from a fixed mindset to being a growth mindset, in the sense of, and there's some examples on here, in the sense of, I like it here because it's easy to, what do I still need to do to practice my best? Or maybe I can't do it, and having that growth mindset of, I'll keep trying. Or I give up on the fixed mindset side or growth mindset. I can't do it yet. And parents, I know many of you are out there thinking, what are we going to do? But I'm asking you, stay in a positive mindset, the best that you can. Stay in a growth mindset, even on the little things. If you say, I haven't cooked dinner, I'm not going to do it. Maybe I'll cook dinner once. Stay in that mindset. Well, we didn't get all the work done today, but we will tomorrow. Or I didn't get a chance to talk to my kid today, but I'll try again tomorrow. You're not going to be able to do everything. Give yourself some grace and just breathe and know that you're doing the best you can. Don't worry about getting everything done. Just do your best. We're going to get through this and stay in that growth mindset. And at the end of this, it says, I really love this one. What do I want to be during COVID-19? Who do you want to develop to be? Anytime there's a crisis like this, we can turn it in for good. Do we want to stay in this fear zone of getting angry and nervous? Or do we want to transition into the learning zone and start letting things go that are out of our control and making the best of what we can? And then enter into the growth zone where actually in the midst of this, we're finding our purpose for our lives. We're able to help others. We're showing gratitude and we're adapting to this way. So think about that. Who do you want to be? What type of parent do you want to be? At the end of this, I want you to ask yourself that question. Who do I want to be for my kids during this time? Because that is very important. Reflect on that today. Who do I want my kids to see in me? What do I want them to see in me as we go through this? And hopefully you're transitioning from a fear zone to a growth zone. So I just want you to think about one thing, and maybe you can write it in the chat if you're there or on Facebook Live. Just share one thing you're going to do to make sure that you are mentally healthy and that your children are staying mentally. If you could just share those, I would greatly appreciate it. I'd love to read those.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation, Ms. Willis. I really enjoyed it. And I want to say on behalf of CABE, we really appreciate the partnership we've developed through the years with the Parent Center and with you being part of the Parent Center and all the staff that is in the Parent Center, as well as Mary Ibarra, Mr. Lin, Dr. Lin, everyone that's part of Corona Norco. We really appreciate the partnership and we look forward to continuing working with the district and the parent leaders from Corona Norco. I really enjoyed your presentation and all the wonderful advice you gave us. Even for me, I'm gonna apply it to myself, but let's see if anyone reads if anyone writes any comments. It says, parents, please take care of yourselves. It says, Corona Norca in the house, would. Good job, Ms. Willis. Such great advice, do it. It says, Corona Norco offers so many adult learning opportunities. Walking sure makes a difference. It's just gratitude, I guess. So much. I really appreciate all the time you took into sharing so many wonderful advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and have a wonderful evening, everyone.
All right, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.